BelAir, Calif. Around midday Wednesday, BelAir had that picture postcard feel 70-something temperatures under a bright blue, cloudless sky. It was the kind of midwinter day that, for decades, lured Hollywood magnates and movie stars to these fortune-kissed hillsides. But something unsettling crept in around the edges of this year's winter idyll, a whiff of smoke, a light sprinkling of ash, and a steady flow of water down the gutter. Many residents here, in one of Los Angeles' poshest neighborhoods, awoke to find waves of fire leaping up the steep hillsides of the Sepulveda past the main route connecting the city's west side with the famed San Fernando Valley. Photos. Wildfire devours homes in Southern California. This impossibly pleasant and cosseted world was, once again, facing a force that no amount of money or preparation can completely control. By late morning, at least 4 sprawling homes had burned, and the firestorm, fueled by 30-mile-an-hour winds, had come within a loose ember of some of Los Angeles' best-known cultural institutions. A helicopter drops water over a house on the hilltop in BelAir, east of the 405 freeway heading north on December 6, 2017 in Los Angeles. Frederick J. Brown, AFP. Getty Images. While a dampening of wind and relentless work by firefighters had controlled the blaze during the day Wednesday, the return of gusts in the evening had homeowners and firefighters on edge. "I am just hoping everything will be alright," said Peggy Hattendorf, a writer and one-time magazine editor who has lived on a BelAir hillside for much of the last 35 years. "When the winds kick up, it will scare the bejesus out of everyone." Spared so far were several museums, schools and temples that are mainstays of the city's cultural life. The Getty Center and its world-renowned art collection stood, untouched, on the west side of Interstate 405, an area that fire officials said they were determined to prevent from getting caught up in the conflagration. A mansion that survived a wildfire sits on a hilltop on December 6, 2017 in the Bel-Air district of Los Angeles. J.C. Hong AP. Farther up the Broad Canyon, the Skirball Cultural Center, American Jewish University, the Stephen Wise Temple and the Leo Baeck Temple all remained unscathed. The American Jewish University had evacuated all of its 150 undergraduate and graduate students by 8:45 a.m. 11:45 a.m. ET. Many had left a day earlier, when the school closed because the air had already been fouled by the fire to the north, in Ventura County. As a precaution, the school gathered 5 size Torah scrolls and 1 mini Torah scroll and moved the sacred texts, some more than 100 years old and brought from Eastern Europe, to its satellite campus in Simi Valley. "When the winds kick up, it will scare the bejesus out of everyone." The closest call for the many landmark Jewish organizations in the area was for the Leo Baeck Temple, whose driveway is directly east of the main entrance to the Getty Center. Firefighters reached the synagogue, the frequent scene of cultural events and political debates, before dawn on Wednesday. They helped stop the flames just a few feet from the temple's back door. Fire crews rested and regrouped in the temple parking lot Wednesday afternoon, after a day putting out hot spots and embers. "We are making sure nothing touches off here and blows to the other side of the freeway," said James Altman, a battalion chief with the Santa Monica Fire Department, one of the many agencies called from around the state to pitch in. "We have worked all day to prevent that, which would be our worst-case scenario." As the sun set Wednesday, the fire seemed under control, but the National Weather Service put out an unsettling bulletin. "Extremely critical fire weather conditions tonight, Thursday," it said, as strong and damaging Santana winds combine with single-digit humidities. "Very rapid fire spread, long-range spotting, and extreme fire behavior likely." People who live here said they have come to expect that, every few years, their lives can be turned upside down. Flames from a wildfire worked their way down a slope behind Leo Baeck Temple in Sepulveda Pass on December 6, 2017 in the Bel-Air district of Los Angeles. Reed Saxon AP. The biggest fire disaster in the area came in 1961, destroying more than 500 homes. That Bel-Air firestorm was notable for the celebrities, like Zsa Zsa Gabor and Baird Lancaster, who lost their homes, and for prompting Los Angeles to toughen its fire code. Brush clearance requirements were imposed around homes, and wood shingle roofs, which burned like kindling in a fire, were banned. Fire officials said those improvements undoubtedly helped spare homes more than half a century later, in this week's big burn. Michel Ahayan, who has lived in the BelAir area for 25 years, said he awoke about 5:15 a.m. to the smell of smoke. He has his wife and daughter-in-law packed some jewelry, pictures and memorabilia. The others left, while Ahayan stayed behind to help ensure that a friend's home was safe. Related, Los Angeles threatened as wildfires spread, forcing thousands to evacuate. "We're somewhat worried, but what can you do?" Ahayan said. "It's life. We live in California. Some people live in Florida. They have hurricanes. We live here, earthquakes and sometimes this." Others said they were attracted to BelAir not just for the stunning weather, but for its laissez-faire vibe, not as urban as nearby Westwood, with the campus or UCLA, or quite as remote as Malibu, up the coast. BelAir is a very special part of the world, said Fred, a 57-year-old, whose family moved to the neighborhood before he started elementary school. There is a lot of sense of community, but we still have our elbow room and independence at the same time. The biggest headache before this week's fire has been a recent spate of mansionization, or something even more extreme, mansions being turned into compounds. Real estate developer Mohammed Hadid, father of supermodels Bella and Gigi Hadid, pleaded no contest to criminal charges last summer tied to his construction of an illegal mega mansion in BelAir. The city had not approved the size or height of the home, which some neighbors considered a blight on a community which was okay with big, but recoiled at colossal. Hadid had to stabilize the hillside where the home was built and pay fines and complete community service. People get away with what they can, said Fred. Mansions are being surrounded by monster developments and a lot of them are owned by some LLC. No one knows who the real owner is, maybe some foreign prince. Residents here concede the fires create anxious moments, but almost all said they can't imagine living anywhere as sublime. Some homes have sweeping views of the lights of West Los Angeles. When the traffic is right, a local can be on the beach in Santa Monica in less than 10 minutes. A Los Angeles County fire helicopter flies over during the Skier Ball fire, which began early morning on December 6, 2017 in BelAir, California. John Citrino, EPA, but others said Wednesday's fire was a disaster too far. Bianca Cava and her husband awoke to a firewall outside their window. All I saw was orange, I didn't even see sky, Cava said. Her husband stayed behind when she evacuated, using a garden hose to help save their home. That was heroic, as were the firefighters who Cava said appeared out of the dark, like Superman, to save the day. But Cava said she is ready to move. I can't live here. I'm so traumatized, she said. I know fires happen, but they're happening more and more. There's no way I'm going to stay here anymore. I'm scared to live here. One other landmark, at least for locals, also made it through the first day of what had been named the Skier Ball fire. That was media magnate Rupert Murdoch's home and hillside winery, known as Moraga BelAir. The estate, which Murdoch reportedly bought in 2013 for $30 million, appeared to have lost a few of its grapevines and, according to the owner, suffered some damage to buildings in the upper vineyard. But the sprawling home at the bottom hill remained unscathed. A helicopter made several water drops from above, while 2 fire engines waited at the bottom of the hill, outside the property's main gate. Murdoch thanked the first responders for their quick work and sent word, in a statement, that he was thinking of his neighbors and sending our thoughts and prayers are with them at this difficult time.